Sounds like I'm talking into a can in that one. The reason I wrote this book is 2 years ago, when I was 39 years old, I was talking to other women about their bodies, and they were saying to me something that I thought was so outrageous, which was, I don't know how this works. I'm completely confused by this body of mine. Anything I try to do to it, with it, it never actually gets to the place that I want it to be. And I thought it was so crazy that you could live in the same body for 39 years and have absolutely no idea how it works. And what that was breeding was this sort of very negative energy towards oneself that breeds comparison, makes people think my body is not good enough. I look at somebody else and I want what they have and I don't know how to get it. Yeah. And I read a quote recently that said, comparison is a brutal assault upon oneself. And I thought, well, you know what, there you go. If you're comparing yourself to somebody else, what that is saying is that what you have is not good enough. And I thought how sad it was that we could spend this time in our bodies and not love them, not know what they're capable of, not know how they work. And why is it that we don't know this? It's because we just never learned. It's like plain and simple, just like that basic. We just never learned it. There's no place that we've learned it. I know I certainly didn't. I had a half a semester of health in 7th grade, and I dissected a frog the entire time. So I didn't really understand the human body as well. So I thought it was really an important thing to bring this information together so that all women and men, honestly, if you have a body, it's a book for you. It's called the Body Book. But we all function the same way, except for some bits, but I'm sure we are all. I focused on the female bit, not the male bit. But that if we could have this information, if we understood ourselves on a cellular level, at the smallest part of ourselves, then we could know ourselves in a way we never had, and that would change our relationship with the entire world. And that if we take that negative energy that we spent so much time just directing inward onto ourselves, hating ourselves, being confused by ourselves, by our bodies, and took that energy and put it back out into the world in a positive way, then we could really create beautiful things in the world, rather than taking that energy and putting it onto ourselves. And I feel like the only way to do that is to have this information.
Well, thank you. It's a robot. I'm a robot. So what's the most surprising thing you've learned while researching for your book?
The body is, it's interesting because everything's connected. I think we all know that everything's connected. Something, especially in the body. Anything that you do to the body, whether it's if it's good or bad, it affects the entire body. So it's a very simple equation, health, well-being. It's a simple equation. Do more good than bad. That's basically it. That's just it. Do more good than bad. The more good you do to your body, the body wants to be strong. Its instinct is to survive. That's the only reason it's here. If it wasn't, its instinct, we'd all be dropping dead because we're not doing a really great job at taking care of our bodies. They really sort of exist on the bare minimum because we don't understand how to nurture them, nourish them, and to give them the proper physical activity. So to me, it was amazing to find that all these little things add up, good and bad. So that's where we come up with the equation of health is an equation, more good over bad.
So I thank you a lot for answering those starter questions, and she'll be taking questions from the audience. So if you can speak up, I'll repeat them. This sounds really horrible, I'm so sorry.
Questions? No questions? Yes.
What is your beauty secret?
My beauty secret? Well, it's funny. Good health. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Good health. That's what I'm selling here. I want everybody to be healthy. I know it's crazy. I'm not selling any creams. I'm not selling a pill. I'm not selling anything other than for you all to have the healthiest, most vital, most capable body that you can. If you guys, life is long if you're lucky, and whether or not you take care of your body really whether or not you're going to enjoy your life to the fullest. And a lot of us live in the bodies that we think that we're stuck with. But really, you really don't know the body that you're in, that you have, that you possess, unless you have taken care of it at the best that you can, with the best nutrition, the best physical activity. I'm not talking about exercising every day. I'm talking about movement. I'm talking about the reason why our body, we take in energy, is because our bodies require it for everything that it does. And when you move your body, whether you're sleeping or you're moving, you require energy. In the book, we talk a lot about different energy needs. And each one of you, this book gives you the information that you can apply to your own needs, not my needs. I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your life. It's information that comes down to the very bases of what it is to be human, how our bodies work on a scientific level, all the way down to the cellular level. And once you hold that information, understand it, and apply it, what happens is you become the actual person you're meant to be. Otherwise, you're kind of living in a completely different body. You are actually a different person than you're meant to be. So this information, once you understand it and you start to apply it, what happens is it becomes something different. The information, you're not going to be like, oh, I need to not do this or not do that. The equation becomes much clearer. Diets don't work. Diets are about deprivation. Diets tell you what you can and can't do. Nutrition is about abundance. Nutrition is about eating more food than you think that you're supposed to eat, but of the right foods, of the right energy, so that you actually can get all the nutrients you're meant to get, so that you have all the energy that you're meant to have in your day-to-day life. But only you know what you do in your day-to-day life. So the book is not going to be a checklist of things that you can check off and be like, oh, now I've done this, oh, now I've done that. It's to be utilized for the rest of your life. It's a way of life. It's not a week-long or a month-long. It's something to apply to your everyday existence. Yeah, again, so this is, when you understand your body on a cellular level, and you understand its needs, for you, juicing might make sense for you at times. The nutrition that you get and the way you receive that nutrition, that might be something that's good for you. That might be something you like. But you won't know that until you understand how to utilize that by way of knowing what your energy needs are, whether or not nutritionally you're getting too much of one thing and not enough of another. So this is a crazy idea, but I want people to use their critical thinking. I want them to use their brains. I want you all to use your minds about your own well-being and your own health. It's like a very, very important thing that from here on out, you think about your well-being as something that is your responsibility and not just what I think about juicing. Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From your research, after your research, what would
It's interesting. I'm not going to bore you too much on this science, but it's actually kind of breakthrough science that we're going to hear a lot more about. It's called our microbiome. And our microbiome is all of the bacteria that is, actually I'm going to bore you with the science. The microbiome is, we all have bacteria in our body, good bacteria. If you scraped it all together, you would have 3 pounds of bacteria. That's like the size of a chihuahua. Exists in your body. That bacteria is responsible for breaking down the nutrients out of your food, digesting your food, helping you to release your waste. It's also the first line of defense for your immune system. That bacteria tells your immune system whether or not something can be allowed into your body. Just because you choose something and you swallow it, it doesn't mean that it's become part of your body until it's been absorbed through your small intestine and delivered to your cells. That bacteria is responsible for whether or not anything gets in. We receive the beginning of our microbiome from our mothers during vaginal birth. Not C-section, but vaginal birth. And the science that they're studying right now, that's a huge breakthrough, is finding that C-section babies, because they have not got this first flush of bacteria that they get from the mother's vagina. One, very importantly, is a lactose bialis, which is an enzyme that allows the baby to digest its own mother's milk. Isn't that crazy? The baby cannot digest the mother's milk unless it gets this bacteria from her vagina. I know, vagina face. I know. So, be happy if you are a vagina face, because if you pass through the vaginal canal, you are you're ahead of the game. C-section babies who have never had their water broken did not get that bacteria. So they're finding which babies who are C-section, they're actually more prone to obesity, more prone to getting sick, more prone to lactose intolerance. And because this bacteria, when it's these bacteria, the microbiome, when it's healthy inside your body, you are healthy. When it's not healthy, you are not healthy. So there's a huge study on this now. And along with all the antibacterials and antimicrobials that are in preservatives and antibiotics that you eat through your meats, as well as anything that's bagged or preserved, or when you take antibiotics, it kills off not only the bad bacteria, but the good bacteria. So every time you're eating that, you're actually depleting your microbiome. And the only way to replenish that is through the way that C-section babies do it, is just by anything they touch, the bacteria starts to build up in their system. Whatever they eat, the kisses that they get from the people that love them, whatever, they start to bring that on into their system. The way that we can replenish it is by not eating preservatives, by not eating, taking antibiotics if not necessary, absolutely necessary, not eating meat that is raised with antibiotics, taking probiotics to help replenish, also eating anything fermented. Every culture has like a fermentation, like there's sauerkraut, there's kimchi, there's pickles, yogurt, anything that's fermented or is a live culture that you can eat helps to replenish the microbiome. And this is going to be the next sort of wave of health that we're going to start hearing about. It's just something that's just taking off. So that was really something that really made me go, microbiome. Yeah.
I think we have time for two more questions.
Two more questions. Ladies. Hi.
So, when did you start to think this way? Was there a time in your life where you were just eating crappy stuff, or
Oh yes. You are what you eat. When your parents always say, you are what you eat, you're like, shut up. Well, guess what? You're a taco. You're a taco. I was a bean burrito with extra cheese and no onions and extra sauce and a very large Coke. That is exactly like my sister and I would literally, if you cut our veins, it would be sauce, hot sauce from Taco Bell would just pour out of us. But it was literally, and I had really, really bad acne. I mean, like really bad cystic acne, the kind that, I'd have 40 pimples on my face at one time. And it was horrible. I was making movies and I didn't understand. I was modeling, I was doing all these things. And I watched the entire O.J. Simpson trial laying on the couch because I was tired. I didn't have anything else I wanted to do except for lay down. Thank God there was a trial on TV. Like, seriously, there's nothing, I had no energy. There was nothing that I had any ambition to do. I was completely, my diet was very much indicative of the way that I lived my life. And so once I started realizing that was connected, things changed. It completely changed. Everything changed. My energy, my skin. And when I did Charlie's Angels, my body was very much challenged. There was something that I had never had to do, which was be in my body in that way. It was very challenging. It's 7 days a week, 8 hours a day for 3 months of training. And so I was forced into my body. From that moment on, I decided I'm never going to be weak again. I'm never going to be listless. I'm going to make sure my body holds this strength. And I did that, and I've continued to do that since I was 27. But nutrition kind of has been trickling its way in. And once I learned the equation that with your health, 90% of health, listen to this, 90% of the equation of your health, nutrition, yeah, it's okay. Nutrition is 90% of your health, period. 90% of your health is what you eat. Physical activity is that other 10%. It's not about going to the gym an hour a day. It's about moving your body every single day consistently. If you go to the gym for an hour or 2 hours in the morning and you sit for 6-8 hours in a day and you don't get up more than once or twice, or you don't move every 20 minutes, you're considered sedentary. You have to get up. Our bodies, the reasons we don't eat and then go to the gym to burn the calories we ate in that day. We consume the calories in our day so that we can actually utilize them throughout the day. It's not a storage system. Energy is not meant to be a storage system. Energy is put into your body so that your body can actually utilize it. So if you like to eat, you're going to have to like to move. But that doesn't mean that you have to work out every day. It means finding every day in your everyday life what you can do to just bring your heart rate up a little bit more. Engage with your body. Even if you sit at a desk every day, all day long, get up every 20 minutes. Do 10 squats 5 times a day. You've done 50 squats. If you went to the gym and tried to find an hour to do that at the gym, that would take up about the same amount of time that it would for you to do it at your desk. And you'd have to make that time for it someplace else. You could do push-ups against the counter while you're waiting for your coffee. Anytime that you can walk and take the stairs instead of taking the elevator, go up and down your hallway at your work a few times before you go and sit down again. Just make those little choices. Find those little things in your day, all day long, that you can actually move your body. Because your body needs that oxygen to move into the blood so that it can deliver the oxygen that it takes to spark the fire in your cells that burns that energy. Otherwise, if you don't have that oxygen and it's not coming to your cell, that energy is not being used. It's really, really simple. More oxygen in your blood, the more you use the energy that you consume. So anything that you do all day long, all you have to do is find a way to get that oxygen into your blood, and you'll be utilizing all of that energy that you've been putting in all day. That is really fun. And again, the equation is more good than bad. So if you have 10 choices in a day to do something, just try to go 50-50 down the middle. Then start moving it up, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Don't press yourselves to do 100%. You're human. There's no such thing as 100% all the time. Sometimes you can, but not for your entire life. And that's where diets fail you, because it tells you have to do something perfectly all the time. You don't. With good health, all it is more good than bad. But you can't make those choices and those decisions. You can't actually make more good decisions than bad if you don't have the information on how your body works. If you know how your body works on a scientific level, at the very base of your cells, you will have a different relationship with everything that you do. Everything. I eat everything. I literally eat everything. And I know people are like, oh, you're so skinny, you can just... It's not, it's because I eat, my equation is always more good of the things that I eat are more good than bad for me. But that doesn't mean they have to taste bad or that they have to be less of something. I was the other day at the Barnes & Noble signing that I did the other day, and I was in the back, and the gentleman in the back was eating this salad, and his coworker said, oh, he's so bored with his salad. It's just, you know, he's trying to eat healthy, and it's so bland, and he doesn't like it, and he's sitting there, he's like, and I was like, what's in there? And he told me it was chicken, and I was like, what do you have on it? And he's like, the dressing, basically nothing. I was like, what's missing from it? And he goes, I don't know, it's just, I was like, the fat, me and my girlfriend go, the fat, and he was like, yeah. And it's a very simple thing. When you know your energy needs, the best position to be in when you want something to taste good is to know what is most nutrient dense and energy dense. Avocado is a great fat. You're not going to get fat from eating avocados unless you eat a ton. A ton of avocados. But if you slice up a couple of avocados, squeeze some lemon on it, put out some olive oil in it, put a little, tiny little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese, that's healthy. That's not something you should be running away with. You shouldn't, but if you're taking a salad, if you eat 3 salads a day and most of the time you're putting ranch dressing on it, or you're putting a dressing that isn't good calories, or good nutrient dense or energy dense foods, then you're not actually eating well. It's knowing that the avocado is the good fat to put in there. Your body's going to utilize it. It has the energy you need, and it also has the fat that you need. Fats are so important. There's a lot of nutrients that cannot be absorbed into your cell without fats. It's called fat-soluble nutrients, vitamins. Those vitamins cannot actually go into your cell unless you have fat to deliver them. So knowing all these things, understanding that it's okay, actually it's fine for me to enjoy my food. I just need to know which ones, what food, what nutrients I need at the moment, or energy, what's my energy needs? What am I doing today? How many times am I going to run up and down those stairs? Know that the more you run up and down those stairs, the more you get to eat. It's all an equation. It's such a simple thing that we just never knew. And I feel like people have been taken advantage of because they are told that they can't do something. And when somebody tells me I can't do something, I want to know why. If somebody tells me why I can do something, that I should do something, I want to know why. So when somebody tells me I shouldn't eat carbs, I want to know why I shouldn't eat carbs. It's not true. Carbs are an essential part of our fuel. We need carbs, but we need complex carbs. You need them. So, but you have to know what a complex carb is. So, by the way, sorry. Yes.
Do you find that it's really difficult to kind of keep this lifestyle that you put in the book, which I totally agree with, like, but you understand, like, how the holidays, all that food that everybody else is eating around you?
Oh, I eat it all. They all save the pork rind for me. They know I get the skin, or at least most of it. No, because the rest of the time that I'm eating, again, it's an equation. Leading up to that day or those days, I'm going to end up, eating the way that I do, which is on that good to bad equation, more good than bad. So when I get there, I don't mind indulging in it. And also, I write in the book about why we eat. We don't just always eat. We eat for so many reasons. We eat because of, we want to share it with our friends. We eat it because we have to do it for our work, because we have to go to lunch meetings. We eat because we're sad. We eat because we're happy. We eat for all these reasons. The main reason that we should eat always is, or not always, the main reason we should eat mostly is for our nutrition and our energy needs. But don't beat yourself up if you want to enjoy yourself. That's the biggest thing, is knowing that you can have everything you want. You just have to know the science so that you can do the math. Yeah. Absolutely. Your body's going to change. Yeah, it does. I mean, but look at every little thing counts. So if you know nothing about what the book, the contents of the books, the science of your body already, if you've gone this long without it, it does apply to you. Your body's going to be different than if you applied it when you were 30, of course, because you are changing. Your hormones are dropping off. Your estrogen is dropping off. But it has a lot of information about bones and muscles, which are really, really important as we grow older. And more important, that we take care of them when we're younger, because we only build that bone mass. Our bone mass stops growing in our 20s. It'll always replenish, but we only have a period of time where we get to build sort of the mass of our bone, where we get to build the most bone that we'll ever have. And then, like everything else, as you grow older, it starts to decrease. You can't build that bone mass as much. So you're just, from then on out, it's trying to hold on to what you have. But our bones are living, it's a living entity. Every day we're sloughing off bone cells and building them back up. And in some places, we're building them more than we need to because of maybe bone is created by compression. And every time you squeeze your muscle, you're squeezing your bone. We're a structure. And our muscles squeeze our bones, and that creates more bone cells. If you don't squeeze your your muscles against your bones, which most of us don't do, especially as we get older, our bones say, okay, so you don't need me anymore. I'll start letting go of some of my cells. You don't need me. That's why they say for women who are older, as you get older, weight-bearing exercises are very important for your bones so that you can hold on to your bone mass. The more your bones are tighter around your muscles are tight around your bones, the more they squeeze your bones, the stronger your bones remain.
Sorry, I think that's all.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I'm the party pooper.
I could talk about this for hours, obviously. But, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for all of your wonderful questions.
Yes, thank you guys so much for your questions and for coming and having interest in your own bodies, because this book is not about my body, it's about your body. This is a book about the body, and I really, I want everyone to know that the reason I wrote this book is because I really want for people to know that their body is their responsibility. You're the only one who can make yourself healthy. You're the only one who can keep yourself vital and capable. That's your responsibility. It's your body. And I wrote this book because it does absolutely matter to me that everyone is happy and healthy and capable and vital. Living a life is a long life. The only way for me to think about that is to be able to do it in a vital, capable way. Otherwise, what's the point? So I really hope that everybody enjoys this book, and I really appreciate your time. So thank you so much.